Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It's time to get your clicks fix.
Hello, welcome back to Clicks Fix. I'm Rory. I am traveling, but still, it's been Sunday, like 3 days since I last played these pint-sized plastic people. It was way fun. I think I'm going to make a separate video about that um, because this last week was pre-release week for Lantern Legacy, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm really excited about it. But if you've been watching my channel for a while, I like to do a top three. Used to be five, but those were just way too long. Top three of each rarity from the set, and now that the set has completely been revealed, I've taken a look at it. I would like to go through some of my top threes, and it's just I don't have anything in any order. I don't have a top one of any of these, and honestly, it was really really hard to make to take any pieces and toss them out of the top three because there were so many awesome things, so much fun to be had in the set. And now they aren't necessarily the most powerful or going to see meta play and stuff. I just think they are the ones that are going to be the most fun and ones I would love to play with. So let's get this party started with the commons. If I find them, where to put the commons? Okay, yes. Now, this first one, it kind of represents a large group. The Black Lantern Reanimate. Probably my favorite of the recruits for the different lanterns, but I want them all. I really like how they have the different abilities to generate one another and just possibly overwhelm your opponent. Black Lantern Reanimate is my favorite because I think it's the easiest to pop off generating more. Take a look at it right here. The Horde's Rise, Blaze Claw's Fangs, Steel Energy. It's a trait. When Black Lantern Reanimate uses Blaze Claw's Fangs and rolls a 1 or a 2, after resolutions generate a 0/8 Black Lantern Reanimate on its red starting line adjacent to the hit character. And that doesn't say once per turn per character or with this trait or whatever it is, however, it sounds but so like even if you have the one that's originally on your team trigger that one that gets generated can then trigger it again as many times as you have actions, and they keep rolling blades that are low. But even at the 15 point uh, click, they have exploit weakness, so even if you roll a 1 or a 2, hopefully you're still getting some damage through. And yeah, unless they have them invincible or can reduce penetrating. Anyway, Black Lantern Reanimate, really, really solid generic figure. I love having lots of generic figures. Next, for the commons, I put in there Dawg. We have a lot of great puppies in the modern age right now, but I like this Dawg a lot. He has the trait when Dawg is carried. This turn, he may be given close actions as if he wasn't carried, which is just awesome. Being able to have somebody get carried and then, I mean, that's just been a thing in the game. You get carried, you can't do anything after, but Dawg can. He's got an 11 attack with blades. And then, subsequently, he has, for later attacks, he has Empower for other creatures, other characters. And he's tiny. And I think he has a lot going on, especially for 30 points. I like Dawg. Next, I have Ganthet. Ganthet is the last of my top three for the commons. I like him because he's a keyword manipulator for some awesome keywords. He can take anybody and make them Green Lantern, which is just awesome. And they get the team ability as well. So you can make anybody your taxi for, it's just 45 points. He's got prob, he's got precision strike, and sidestep. I like him. I like him a lot. Kent, it's good. There's another one that didn't quite make the list that makes a Green Lantern, a Blue Lantern, which is really good. And then they can do Blue Lantern empowering or enhancement shenanigans. Or it's just not going to talk about that one in depth. But yes, get it. Awesome, awesome common figure. I like him, especially if you are playing some Green Lanterns. Now, uncommons. Okay, we'll do this one first. I actually played with this one in sealed, and it was a lot of fun. Really good. 60 points for 7 clicks. Has shape change and super senses to try to keep him safe. Shares his shape change with other friendly characters. Any other friendly characters, doesn't matter keywords, nothing. Other friendly characters within 4 squares can use shape change. So he's handing out shape change. I rolled like 4 shape changes in a row in one game, and it was hilarious but sad for the other guy. But it was awesome. And he's got the Outsiders team ability, which is just awesome. If he had stayed alive in another game, it would have been a lot more helpful to try to take down the Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime's a beast. But anyway, oh, and along with his sharing the shape change, he's got Perplex. And he can just move around because he ignores characters. I really like this Beast Boy. He is really cool. Then next for uncommons, we've got this one. Despotellus. Despotellus is awesome. He's just being able to copy himself. Granted, the copies aren't necessarily as strong as the original because they're on their own little click number 5. But they can make copies too. So even if the original gets taken down, it's possible to just keep making more copies with the copies. Poison, Safeguard Poison. Once per turn for all characters with the trait, when Despotellus hits with a close attack after resolutions, you may generate another one on click number 5 adjacent to the hit target. This king that Despotellus isn't scored when KO'd. And yeah, beyond that, they don't score copies. For 25 points, I think that's amazing. Amazing. I got to get as many as I can. I don't have any yet, but I got to get as many as I can. Then last for the uncommons, I have the Spectre 24B, the Black Lantern version. Now, the regular one's it's strong, but it's pretty easy to KO, as I learned in sealed. I went against one, and it's tough to hit. It might be tough to hit the 19 defense unless you're constructed, but whatever. That's another thing. 19 defense is good, but he has no reducers. He takes all the damage. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think he has protected outwit. I didn't have outwit, but yeah, he could go down pretty hard. For his points, I don't like him as much as the Black Lantern version. I haven't talked about the one that I like the most. Steel Energy traded, but with close or range attacks. Black Lantern thing. Power. Generate a grave hindering terrain marker within range and line of fire. Just put them out. It's a power action, unlike some others that are free, but there's a lot of good interactions with Black Lanterns and grave terrain markers. And then his special attack, he's got Pulse Wave. When Spectre uses it, hit opposing characters occupying any grave terrain markers are dealt 2 damage instead, and friendly characters occupying any grave terrain markers have Safeguard Pulse Wave. So if you have either put them out already or have other ways to generate those grave markers, you can really mess up another team or just not really care if your forces are in his Pulse Wave. And I think that's a really cool way to use Pulse Wave, to make a unique type of Pulse Wave. I really think that's cool. At either 100 or 50 points, he is solid. If you're planning on using the pulse wave, I'd say just 50 because you don't care about his damage being 4. And you got Outwit. Outwit is amazing. He is a little easier to take down, but he's got, traded steel energy. All right. That was the uncommons. Let's go to the rares. Now, I faced this one as well in sealed. Archilo. Archilo is pretty awesome. He came in really quickly and took down that beast boy because he's got Battle Fury and he had the sword equipment, so I couldn't use my super senses either. No shape change, no super senses. Archilo just killed him, which was what Archilo needed to do. But he's really awesome. Perplex traded. When he's given a move, close, or range action, after resolutions, you may give up to 2 friendly characters with recruit in their name within 4 squares and the same type of action as free. So that's pretty awesome. Didn't see that happen because there weren't any recruits. But if you're doing just fun constructed with Archilo and some recruits, that's a lot of attacks you can get off. Especially, it doesn't mean it has to be a costed move, close or range. He could do a costed power in his charge, move is full, and it's a capital close as free, and then the recruits can do a close as free. I like it. If you can give him a range, because he doesn't have a range, but if you can give him a range and give him a range action, I guess that could work too. But yes, move full movement charge is great on both starting clicks for him. He only has his special damage if he's being played at 145, which is Battle Fury and Leadership, and make an attack, but only to target a character of less points than Archilo. 145, most characters are going to be less points, which is awesome. So yeah, in our sealed game, I was scared of him. I missed my first attacks on him, so I was worried. Managed to get him, but he still held his own, even though he was down low. He just got right in my face, and it was really hard to hit his high defense because I had no outwit. Next rare I'm saying is Lex Luthor. One is just classic Lex Luthor with the orange lantern. Just powers. It's just awesome. It's iconic. Iconic for Lex Luthor. Corporate greed trait plasticity. When an opposing character within range and line of fire uses probability control, Lex Luthor may re-roll the roll they re-rolled. So if you're using Perplex, and I can see you, I'm using Perplex as well. I'm not Perplex, sorry, Prob. If you're re-rolling and it's still good, I'm re-rolling after. Or however that works. Hitting, missing, whatever. It doesn't matter whose turn it's on. Anyway, Lex Luthor may be equipped with up to 2 equipment. Again, that's awesome. He could have his orange ring for free and then something else. There's so many good equipment these days. It's awesome. Then his special attack that's only on his top dial at his low click, which is Penetrating Psychic Blast. And he can use all of the improved movements and targeting abilities that other opposing characters can use, not within range or line of sight, on the map. He can use all of them that your opponents can use, which is awesome because a lot of those are needed for a lot of teams. You go up against Superman, he's got the team ability, the Kryptonian team ability, which gives them improved targeting through hindering. So Lex has got it. That's your opponent. Yeah. And then he's got on his top 2 clicks, so only on his 120 point dial, Impervious and Mastermind. I could see playing both of them. Probably mostly be playing him at 60 points just to build around him, do some more secondary attacks. I just think he's good enough at 60 points. I don't think you need to invest 60 more points for 3 more clicks, even though they are some good clicks. Anyway, Lex Luthor, that's the second rare. The last rare is one of the Kyle Rayners. Now, I wasn't really a huge fan of all the different versions of Kyle and Hal. There are some good ones. There are some very useful ones. I have one version of Hal on a team, built on a team already, so hopefully I get him. But I wasn't too impressed with them like individually. They didn't do. I mean, these are like the Lantern characters. Kyle is the coolest Green Lantern to me, and I was kind of disappointed. But this version of Kyle Rayner, I think, is very fun, unique. It's the Red Lantern one. He's got the trait Poison. When Kyle Rayner uses it, he may instead roll a d6 and deal damage to each adjacent opposing character equal to half the result. So up to 3 damage in poison. I think that is awesome. I just think it's so much fun. Oh, for 60 points, I think that's worth it. I think it's worth it. And he's got the super strength at the beginning with a decent movement for charge. So he could go get in there and 11 for 4 damage next turn. Do some poisoning. They might hit him down to his flurry clicks. Flurry, blades, exploit weakness, which they might not want to do. Anyway, okay. So that was the rares. Let's go to the super rares. Top of the list, just the order that they were not added to. I think they are in alphabetical order right now. I think that's what the system did. Anyway, Alan Scott, the super rare. This Green Lantern, I really hope I get one of these. Lonely Throne, Alan Scott can't be targeted by non-adjacent characters. Protected Pulse Wave. I mean, granted, there's a lot of great close combat stuff going on in the game right now. And they can't even use Giant Reach, can they? Can't be targeted by non-adjacent characters. They have to be next to him. That could also put, like, if you put somebody next to him that they don't want to be next to, that could be interesting. Anyway, making it really hard to target him in the first place. I face the darkness within. When an opposing character misses Alan Scott, after resolutions, remove an action token from Alan Scott. When an effect other than clearing removes an action token from Alan Scott, after resolutions, heal him 1 click. So, way to heal. Easy way to heal, just get stuff removed from you. So somebody else's leadership or his willpower. He's got willpower, right? I guess he's done. Yeah, he's got the willpower in the cosmic. Kingdom Come. Oh, what's the? I forgot. I don't have that many Kingdom Come characters. I can't remember what this team ability does. Let's read it. When this character would be hit by a range attack, that doesn't matter for him. If the attacker doesn't have Kingdom Come ability, you may roll a d6 and numbers. Evade on numbers, uncopyable. Doesn't really matter for him, even though it's like thematically he is a Kingdom Come character. They can't target him from ranged anyway, and it's protected from Pulse Wave. So, kind of a redundant team ability there. Anyway, so yeah, and he can heal when somebody misses him. I don't know, give him super senses somehow, and then he could evade. I guess the Kingdom Come one could let him do that if they were somehow able to do a ranged attack on him. But then, yeah, they miss him by either rolling too low or evading. Then he heals. I think it's awesome. He's viable, I think, at either 100 or 40. He's useful at either. I'm probably going to be playing him at 100. 100 points for a 20 defense character with Pulse Wave or just 4 damage. Sees through hindering. Yeah, I'll take that. Even in a super rare. I like it. All right, next on my list of super rares, this one I pulled in sealed. I was thinking before sealed, but then I played with him and I was like, I like this guy. I like him a lot. And that's Sinestro, number 41A, the ultraviolet core one. So it really makes me want to get a ring to go with him. But his trait here, it's on, or very similar on all the other ultraviolet characters. Mind control, when he uses it, all the targets have the ultraviolet core keyword, modify attack +2. So hit somebody initially, and then you can mind control them. I didn't use it in sealed. I could have. Maybe they should have one of the games, but I was just wanting to do damage. When Sinestro hits after resolutions, give each hit character a UV token if they don't already have one. Those characters gain the ultraviolet core keyword and lose all other keywords, which is awesome. And then the special attack that he has for most of his dial or just the first click on his low dial. Energy explosion, precision strike. So energy explode, and no matter their reducers, they're still taking one. Sinestro deals penetrating damage to characters with the ultraviolet core keyword. So if you need to get that damage through, hit them, ping them once, whatever. If they have impervious, whatever. Okay, now when I go at you, you're taking all the damage that I'm giving you. And then this special damage that he has is whole dial. Empower, enhancement, leadership. When Sinestro uses them, he considers friendly characters that share a keyword with him within range and line of fire as adjacent to him. Pretty cool. I never used it in the sealed. Maybe I could have. I don't think it would have made a difference for my team. But just being able to empower and enhance and leadership your whole dial is awesome. And then that, if you get your other characters that can take a hit in the energy explosion, then you can support them in different ways. I could have done that. That'd be cool. But yeah, running shot, he's just strong. He is strong. Don't want to get him locked down by a close combat stuff that he can't get away from, though. That makes it difficult. All right. Last super rare. I'm going with this one. He just seems super fun to me. Sonar. Got this trait. Friendly characters within range and line of fire can use shape change, which is awesome. But only when an opposing character makes a ranged attack. So not quite as good as Beast Boys, but still giving out shape change is good. And then he's got a special attack at the beginning of his top click dial and at the end as well, at 70 or 25 points, which is Pulse Wave. When Sonar uses it, until your next turn, hit opposing characters have when this character would roll a single d6. Instead, the result is a 1. There are so many characters with rollouts these days. Pulse wave them with this guy, and then let the rest of your team go wild, and they can't roll out of it. I really, really like this guy because he deals with so many different things. Granted, he is a little difficult to keep alive. He's only got toughness and then ESD later on, but he's also got perplex to help out. But yeah, I really like the idea of saying, you know what? All of your rollouts are gonna fail for a turn. It's not so bad as the stuff like the neck, what is it? The sword from the Spider-Man set a while ago that just said no shape change, no super senses. And you're taking damage is basically a precision strike, battle fury plus type thing. He does it for just when he hits. He's got to hit them, and then they can't do the stuff. I think he's a really fun piece. Maybe not meta, maybe not super competitive, but fun. And I would definitely only play him at 70 points to get that at top dial. And if you haven't noticed, I have not listed any primes because in my list of top threes, I don't do primes because usually the primes are amazing anyways, and they're probably going to be at the top of the list. So I just don't deal with primes. So the amazing Sinestro, John Stewart, Kilwog, Guy Gardner, it's all they're they're not on the list, even though they're awesome. Okay, let's move on to the chases. I mean, all of these rarities, it was hard to make these choices, but I had to make them. Had to make them. Now, first chase here, I'm going to list, and again, they're not in any particular order. The Black Hand. There are several reasons this is on my list. One, it's Black Lanterns. I love Black Lanterns. I pulled like 3 of them from the Notorious set, and I loved playing with them. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go over this guy. 125 over 70 points. First trait, death power levels rising. Leadership, stealth, free, generate a grave hindering terrain marker within range if any characters were KO'd since your last turn, generate 2 instead. So a free, easy way to generate those markers, which, as we saw already with the Spectre, there are awesome ways you can use these markers. And then other power levels 100%. Opposing characters within 4 squares of any grave terrain marker modify defense +1, which is awesome, especially when you can just make them as free. When an opposing character destroys any grave terrain marker after resolutions, deal them 1 unavoidable damage. If you don't want that defense uh, degrading or lowering, then you got to destroy these things or get away. And if you destroy it, you're going to take unavoidable damage, even better than penetrating damage. And he's got only one special ability, and that's a defense that is only there when you're playing him at 125. Invincible and Mastermind, which is, really, really useful when you have a bunch of other, Black Lantern reanimates and all these other guys, little guys that you can toss it off onto, which is awesome. But I think he's playable at both 125 or 70. Yeah, start like even at 70, starting off with a 19 defense, which is awesome. And a 12 attack. He's got that. It's probably more often going to be using him at 70, just because it lets you build a better team, possibly. I would probably consider him at 125 more if he had more than one target. But having a 6 range is very good as well. So, Black Lantern, gotta love them. There are a lot of Black Lanterns. There were several already on my list. Then next one, we're gonna go with White Lantern Superman. This I pulled in my sealed, but and he was awesome. He's awesome. But I'm specifically going to be talking about him with the team up card. So having this extra trait is basically what puts him on in my top 3. If it wasn't for the team up card, he'd still be really good and he'd still be really awesome, but he might not make it onto the top 3. Anyway, let's talk about that extra team up trait. When establishing theme teams, friendly characters with the Justice League keyword gain the White Lantern Corps keyword. Keyword bending, amazing. I love it. And there's a lot of really good Justice League characters out there that can do this. When another friendly character with the White Lantern Corps keyword heals, they heal an additional click. That's awesome. Just that kind of cancels out somebody. Like if your opponent has the Bloodstone, it's like, you know what? That's fine. You just negate my extra healing. Yeah, I really like it. And there are a lot of cool ways to get people healed up in Justice League. A lot of cool stuff. And Superman is one of them. We'll get to that. Anyway, the next trait, a normal one. The first time, normal one that he has without the team up card. The first time Superman would be KO'd, instead turn him to click number 7. If you do, until the end of your next turn, friendly characters can use regeneration as free, even if this effect is lost. So even if they double tap him and get rid of him, he's the rest of your team will be able to free regen. Now, if he's off the map, they don't get the extra healing from that other trait, but it's still really good. And I mean, if they don't double tap him, he can then, free regen himself on your turn, which is awesome, and heal an extra. So if he's on click 7, and say you roll really high, heals 3, one more. He's going to click 3, where he has that. Geez, man, you could go even further. You could get all the way to click 2, because let's look at his special defense now. Because if he goes to click 7, he has this special defense again. Impervious and super senses. At the beginning of your turn, you may heal a friendly character within range 1 click. He could heal himself. So if he's on click 7 and he survived, like they don't get to attack him again or whatever, he's still on your team, heal 1 at the beginning of the turn to click 6. Roll high on your free regen to click 3. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, and then an extra one because of the trait. He's going to click 2. It's almost having to KO him completely twice, which is awesome. And there are other ways to heal, which would be just extra healing. It's just awesome. And he has that defense on his top 3 clicks. I'm playing him at 90 points every time. 50, I mean, he's still good. He's still worth it as a 50-point character. But starting off with that special defense to heal anybody within his range, which is 4 normal range, and he's just dangerous. He's doing a hypersonic speed with running shot, so a 12 attack for 5 damage, 19 defense for 3 clicks with super senses and impervious. It's just, I really like him. It's a lot to deal with. And then with the team up card, he's doing even more with healing and the whole team. Anyway, okay. Last chase on my top 3 list is the Atom. Now, it's so hard. I wanted like one of the planets. Like the planets are awesome. And like Atrocitus and Dexter are awesome. Batman's awesome. They're all awesome in their own ways. It was really hard to make a top 3. But anyways, the Atom. I really, really like the Atom. I think he's probably the first one that I decided had to go on my top 3. He's an Indigo tribe. And I do have a special place in my heart for Indigo tribe because in War of Light set, the chase that I got was Proselyte, the entity that was for the Indigo tribe. So it's and that's maybe one reason it's in my top 3 list. It's got a special place in my heart. So, anyway, first, only trait. I'm compassionate, not defenseless. Shape change, great. Stealth, great. Support, great. Oh, he also has Justice League, so if he can go on a team and be a White Lantern too with Superman. Anyway, free. Make an attack targeting an opposing character that attacked the Atom or another friendly character with the Herald or Indigo tribe keyword since your last turn. So you're probably going to want to have him on an Indigo tribe team or a Herald team so that he can use that more often. But also just if somebody attacked him. And like if he's on his 2nd or 4th click, they could attack him and you could evade it with your super senses. Man, twice. Or if they just miss. Anyway, on his top 3 clicks, he's got a special movement, which is sidestep and free. If the atom is adjacent to a friendly character that shares a keyword with him, you may place him adjacent to another friendly character within 6 squares. So free placement and sidestep. He can get free attacks. He's very mobile. He's got some great traded powers. And then let's keep moving on. Also on his top 3 clicks, he's got his special damage. Probability control. Free, choose either outwit or perplex for the atom to use until your next turn. You may instead choose both, but if you do, the atom must use both to target the same opposing character. The main support type powers like that: probability control, outwit, perplex. He has access to all of them. And you don't have to, I mean, a lot of times you're going to outwit and perplex the same opposing character. That's just how it often works. So he basically has all three at the same time, plus some great placement. He gets around the board really well, and he has free attacks, and he's tiny. For 50 points, I love this guy. I do. I want to get him. I don't know what I'd trade for him, but I really want to get him. All right, on to legacies. I'm not doing any of the equipment because the equipment is all just really good anyway. Just like all of the equipment, if you can get it, get it. Kind of depends on just what characters you have, which ones are going to be good. And that holds true with the Lantern batteries. I'm not saying any ones are better than the other, but all of them do cool, unique things and are just great. Look them up, see what they do, see what plays to your style of play, and go for that. I like them all. For 40 points, they are worth playing. But outside of them, we're just going to look at the legacy figures. Sodom Yacht, first one I'm putting on my list. Sodom Yacht, I think, is awesome for his revised point value of 100. I like it. Now, Antonio from What Say You like did his own version of a legacy of this figure, and it was awesome. I think this one is pretty darn awesome as well. I think he's super fun. Let's look him. Traded, the Last Guardian, willpower. Sodom Yacht modifies his defense +1 for each action token he has. So hopefully he's going a lot. Hopefully he rolls his willpower a lot so that you can keep him up to 1 or 2 like all the time, so you don't have to like take a turn of clearing him, because his defense values are a little dated, highest at 17. So you want that boost. Then he's got a special. We'll look at that special defense a bit later. At the top of his dial, he's got a special damage, range combat expert, which is great, and free if a friendly character was KO'd since your last turn, make an attack, any kind of attack. So he's got, with range combat expert, and he's got a charge at that time. So getting into the fight, he might not do it, but he's still doing 4 damage. And if he's using his super strength, 5, maybe more damage. So he can really, really blast away close. And then he's got range combat expert if with a 7 range. So if you have somebody else place him somehow that's not carrying, TK him to where he can shoot somebody, 12 attack, 5 damage, or charge on them. It just depends on what's best. And then, I mean, that's a lot of damage. A lot of characters will go down. If he's targeting like a lower point character, a lot of them will go down with 5 damage. And then he gets to make another attack for maybe 5 more damage. If he's doing a close combat there and he did 5 in the first attack, probably because he used terrain, probably not going to have it for the next attack. But anyway, Sodom Yacht, lots of fun. But then he's got these 3 clicks of this defense on the end. Stop, so 3 clicks of stop. And he has Power Cosmic now and Impervious. Sodom Yacht can't can reduce penetrating damage. So impervious that can reduce penetrating is great. Can't be healed, less great, but still good. And he's got hypersonic at that point. So the first one, he's 10 hypersonic, 12 attack, 19 defense with that stuff, and 5 damage. So he's deadly. He's deadly through his whole dial, but they might think, lower, maybe some lower defenses. I'll try to get him, and boom, 19 defense, and he is deadly. Anyway, Sotomiat, great, great legacy. Next one I'm looking at is Firestorm from from War of Light as well. Black Lantern, love the Black Lanterns. Anyway, welcome aboard, Nero. Nerd. Nero. Nero's a name in anime I'm watching. Anyway, nerd. When Firestorm KOs an opposing character, choose a standard power printed on that character's card. Firestorm can use the chosen power this game, protected Pulse Wave. It has to be a standard, so you're not KOing bystanders to get their powers. Remember that. But just stealing powers for the whole game is awesome. He has to do a KO, unlike the Prime Rogue, which just had to hit him. But it's still amazing. And then other trait, Death, Radiating Peace. Firestorm modifies his attack and defense +1 for every grave terrain marker within range. Attack and defense. And if you're using other Black Lantern stuff, there are a lot of ways to get these grave terrain markers out. So a top dial, and it's got a 7 range. So that's a very large area that he can draw this power from. He can get up to a 13 attack with a 20 defense, putting out grave terrain markers. He has no way to put them out, so you want to pair him up with other characters that do, but still. Special movement in the middle of his dial, running shot, sidestep, stealth, good. And then special damage at the top of his dial, probability control, great. Steal energy, but with close and range attacks. And if you look at his dial, there's only one click in there where he does not have some way to heal with either that or regen. So he could regen back onto those, hopefully skipping over that one click. And then, yeah. Anyway, I like this Firestorm. I think he'll be a lot of fun as long as you can keep grave terrain markers out there. And I would want to probably play him with the Black Hand, who punishes people for destroying those grave terrain markers, so that they might want to destroy him to weaken Firestorm, but they're going to take damage for it. They're going to pay a price. Anyway, last one, Harley Quinn Legacy from the Harley Quinn and the Gotham Girls set. Black and Red Lantern, just a freaking awesome piece. Don't have it, sadly, myself, but I would love to get it, especially if I get the Legacy card. Seal energy, but I'm going to use it with closer range attacks. Traded. When opposing character is KO'd after resolutions to heal Harley Quinn 2 clicks. She doesn't have to do the KOing. And it's just any opposing character. You can KO bystanders or time breakers, and she's healing, which is just nuts. Special movement, force blast, and running shot. And then special attack that starts at her lower point dial, which is 65 points. Energy explosion, energy explosion, poison. When Harley Quinn uses poison, she still deals damage if she moved this turn, and characters she damaged this turn are considered adjacent to her. And then the special damage she has through a good chunk of the middle of her dial. When Harley Quinn hits this turn, hit characters can't reduce damage below 1, including her poison. So you play her 65, she has all of those special powers at her top dial. So that gives her a running shot with energy explosion. And they all get damaged, so she, no matter where they are, she can poison them. And that poison can't be reduced below 1. Even when she's hitting, it's basically she has precision strike because characters she hit can't reduce damage below 1. But then that carries into follow-up attacks too. Other characters going after those people. Doesn't matter. They're damage reducers. If they get hit, they've taken at least one. Love it. Love, love, love it. This is getting to be a long video. Sorry. There's just so much awesome stuff to talk about, and I want so much of it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a break and buy a bunch at Worlds this year. So let me know what you think. What were your top figures in each of these rarities? Go look at Antonio's. What say you? He's got a great list as well. Some of them were very much considered for my team. A lot of them we shared, and there's just so much awesomeness in the set. What is your favorite? What is the stuff you are looking forward to playing the most from the Lantern Legacy set? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, all that fun YouTube jazz, and hope that I gave you guys a good fix for your clicks addiction like I have. We'll see you next time. Bye.